So yesterday's dev stream had a lot of information about the Jade Shadows Constellation update, but there was a few things that came to light after I made my recap video going over it. So first up, there are 2 free color palettes and 2 glyphs that you can grab right now in Warframe for free. One is for Orion, one set, and the other set is for Sirius. Now I've left both links in the description of this video. All you have to do is log into the Warframe website, visit both of these pages, that's it. You don't have to click any buttons, there's no codes, no messing around. Simply visit both of the pages while you're logged in, then log into the game and both of the rewards will show up in your mailbox. Now, after yesterday's dev stream, Pablo also clarified what will count as creating an object for the new Warframe arcane called Arcane Sculptor. This is the arcane that will lock your ability efficiency for your Warframe at 175% for 12 seconds after creating an object with an ability, but we didn't know what exactly an ability that created an object was. Now we've got a little bit of clarification from Pablo, but there is a big long list of Warframes that can do it. Now the list is pretty interesting. Atlas's Wall, Sight's Ammo, Foley's Objects, Frost's Globe, Gara's Vitrify, Ivara's Bubble, her zipline as well, Mirage's Disco Ball, Nova's Portal, and apparently there's plenty more Warframes. When they cast an ability, it will be categorized as an object, so they're going to be able to make, I guess, benefit of this arcane. Which means Frost, out of all of that list, Frost is one of the Warframes that just keeps getting accidental win after accidental win, where he gets buffed, or well, not technically buffed, but he gets, I guess, improved simply by something else being added into the game. Now, Atlas could be interesting as well, drop a wall, or I guess, I don't think his minions, didn't mention his minions, that can trigger the arcane, dropping a wall, and then you can just start punching without ever consuming any energy. Protea might also get easy turret spam. Vauban has his usual, I guess, collection of grenades and balls he can throw on the ground, so he's also going to be high on the energy efficiency list with this arcane. Then you've got Corvex, Noko, Korra, plenty for the Warframes, so I guess the list is going to be very, very interesting. So it could mean dropping efficiency in terms of, I guess, Equilibrium shards, Archon shards, the purple ones, or maybe dropping flow or prime flow and being able to shift more into strength, duration, or whatever your build actually needs to fit your playstyle if you wanted to pop this arcane in instead. But it's going to require that balance, right? Whether you want to drop something else out in order to fit this in, which means you're going to have to swap an arcane that maybe you enjoy using. Now, there was also the fact on the dev stream last night that while they were showcasing Sirius and Orion and talking about all of their abilities, the passive, and what we can do, they didn't tell us what their Subsume was going to be, what we're going to be able to put on other Warframes. And hopefully, maybe they'll be able to tell us over the next few days, they'll be able to clarify. But there was also that interaction that some people have mentioned. What happens if Stalker marks your Warframe or your account for death and then decides to show up while you're playing as Sirius and Orion? Like with Jade, when he does it, he just leaves. So can we expect the same when he shows up for his sons? Or is he going to scold them? Is he going to ground them? Is he going to give out to them? Or is he going to do that kind of dad thing that I find myself doing with my 2 sons? When they do something, I kind of just roll my eyes up and just leave the room. Whatever it is, it's going to be interesting, right? And then, of course, there is the lore question that plenty of you mentioned as well, which is something I didn't get to think about last night because I was too busy, I guess, just editing the dev recap. What about the lore question in relation to how these are going to be primed when their prime variants comes in, what, 2.5 years' time? That's also going to be something very interesting. Now, I wanted to talk about, I guess, one of the biggest talking points in relation to the dev stream last night and the showcase of Sirius and Orion and their abilities and the fact that they switch characters from one person to the other with their abilities. There is a lot of talking points in relation to Equinox and the comparison, and I understand why Equinox players are maybe a little bit frustrated and annoyed. Equinox is an old Warframe with an old kit of abilities, and the night and day interaction just isn't where it should be anymore. The game has kind of bypassed them or left them in the past. For a frame built around swapping forms from night and day, there really isn't enough reason to keep swapping. People either use the night form or they use the day form depending on what they want. Her first ability is supposed to be the core part to her identity, but for a lot of players it's also become one of the abilities that you will helminth off for something else. And that kind of says a lot. If your core identity is a specific ability and that's the ability that everyone gets rid of, or a lot of players get rid of, then that Warframe now needs to have a good hard look at themselves. Now, Equinox definitely needs a rework, right? The same as Banshee, the same as Limbo, the same as Loki, and plenty of other Warframes that have fallen behind in terms of how they play. Basically, some of the older legacy Warframes But saying Sirius and Orion stole Equinox's rework is a little bit crazy. They are different concepts. Equinox is two aspects of one Warframe. Sirius and Orion are two separate people with two separate identities built around working together but fighting and bickering at the same time. Not really the same thing as what Equinox is. Now, there is still plenty of room to make Equinox better than what she is right now, than turning her into Sirius and Orion. The real issue is simple. Equinox needs a stronger reason to swap between night and day. She doesn't need to become a ridiculous powerhouse, but she does need better synergy between both forms of day and night. So swapping actually feels useful again. And I think most of us are well aware of this, and I'm sure DE are as well, but they do need to sit down, I guess, and have a look at Equinox and decide how they're going to make her, I guess, better than what she is right now, especially with all of the discussions going on in relation to Sirius and Orion. But let me know in the comment section below what you think about, I guess, the whole discussion between Equinox, Sirius and Orion. I don't think they're the same, but maybe you do. The update on June the 17th has a lot of content coming with it, as you can see from this graphic shared on Reddit by Spinal Prison. Have a great day, have a great week, and as always, thanks for watching.